We all hate tedious, repetitive work. When faced with a mind-numbing task, we look for a shortcut that allows us to bypass the effort entirely. But there is a trap hidden inside that desire for efficiency. Sometimes the most direct shortcut ends up breaking the exact thing you were trying to preserve. Sarah and Jamie are 12 and 11 years old, looking for holiday work to support their parents. When they approach a local farmer asking for a job, they have no idea how their desire to be helpful will collide with a very difficult reality. They aren't malicious, they just want to be efficient, and that innocent, highly motivated desire for a better way to work is where many unintended consequences begin. The farmer gives them a specific assignment: protect his cabbage crop. To do that, they have to manually inspect every single plant, find the cabbage white caterpillars eating the leaves, and pick them off one by one. This diagram shows the scale of the problem. If you have an enormous commercial patch and estimate just 10 caterpillars per cabbage, you are suddenly looking at a staggering 1 billion pests. And the labor is physically repulsive. The source material describes it as a hideous job, where the caterpillars wriggle in the children's hands as they are picked up. It is the kind of work that makes anyone look for an alternative. To make matters worse, the air is thick with adult cabbage white butterflies. They flitter around the kids, laying new eggs as fast as the old ones are removed. This level of overwhelming tedium forces the brain to stop following the instructions and start looking for a radical way to change the game. Sarah stops picking and looks at the field. She realizes there is a way to skip the manual labor entirely by using a simple logical deduction. First, caterpillars only exist because they hatch from eggs. Second, eggs are deposited by the flying adult butterflies. The conclusion is inescapable. If you eliminate the butterflies, the source of the eggs is gone, and the caterpillar problem vanishes. Jamie immediately agrees. It is difficult to argue with linear logic that offers a way out of a miserable task. This approach is called first-order thinking. It focuses entirely on solving the immediate problem while remaining blind to the secondary consequences of the solution itself. The kids pivot. They drop their buckets and switch from a slow defense to an aggressive offensive attack. To execute the new plan, they need weapons. They rip down 2 large bamboo poles nearby, killing the climbing bean plants attached to them. The logic is already causing damage before the first butterfly is even hit. Sarah's logic was perfect on paper, but it ignored the physical reality of the environment where that logic had to be applied. This photograph reveals the critical physical constraint. It is almost impossible to hit a small, flying insect with a bamboo pole. You have to wait for it to land, and the only place these butterflies land is directly on top of the fragile cabbages the kids are trying to protect. A flawless theory will always fail if it ignores the physical vulnerabilities of the system it operates within. Exhausted, the kids stop to admire their work. They succeeded. The butterflies are gone. But as the text confirms, not a cabbage was left standing. The cabbage patch looked like a battlefield. Every blow that killed a butterfly pulverized the plant beneath it. The children look at the flattened, ruined crop. They drop their weapons in silence and tiptoe away from the farm, hoping the farmer never finds them. Achieving a 100% success rate on a single metric is meaningless if the process destroys the entire host system. This pattern repeats everywhere complex systems exist. In this diagram, you can see how the web reacts. When a variable is violently removed to solve an isolated problem, it sends a shockwave through the rest of the structure, often leading to a total collapse. This happens when a company cuts its entire maintenance budget to boost quarterly profits, only to face a massive infrastructure failure a year later. It happens in ecology when we remove a predator and accidentally cause a population explosion that starves the entire habitat. The danger lies in falling so deeply in love with a clever solution that you ignore the risks it creates. Effective problem-solving requires the system to survive the treatment. Any fix that liquidates the asset you were trying to protect isn't a solution. It's just a different kind of disaster.